I think it's this place that we're in, but I'm your liability. I know you are my liability. Yeah, I know you are my liability. Oh, what a hopeless case we could be. Yeah. Oh, what a hopeless place that we're in. When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Oh, you and I, we got it. We don't need no more. Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm. Before I sleep, hear the crickets, see the moon. Side by side and through. No limit to what we can do. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. You and I, we got it. We don't need no
Greenfield Central High School, home of the Cougars, hoping to play spoiler tonight for one of the hottest teams in the state. It's Hoosier Heritage Conference basketball live on 9-Star TV. The Greenfield Central Cougars play host to the number 13 and 4A Mount Vernon Marauders. Welcome inside of Dillon Automotive Gymnasium alongside Jim Leisure. I'm Kurt Darling. Almost a time warp between these two teams. The Cougars, 4-5 on the season, appear to be where the Marauders were just 5 or 6 years ago in terms of development. Well, Coach Meredith's squad is showing signs of growth over the last few years, but needless to say, that growth ends where the Marauders are right now. Jim Leisure here, as they are 6-2 on the season, coming off of some big wins this season, including number 1 Zionsville, which was back on December 28th, but then they lost to the basically who Coach Rhodes refers to as the best team in the state in Westfield immediately after that. Needless to say, looking for a good bounce-back win here tonight.
Mount Vernon's definitely been playing some excellent competition, and they have been playing, like you said, at the highest level in the state. Westfield is very good. Zionsville was a huge win for them. Coach Rhodes has done a really fantastic job. This is a senior group of kids. This is their year. They had a fantastic year on the gridiron, obviously winning the state championship in football. Some of those kids are on this basketball team as well, as we look at 2 young men here who are going to be big players tonight.
And you see Armand and Ahmad Gerard averaging 32 points between them, 15 apiece. Needless to say, both of these 2 kids are really going to be welcome sights at IUPUI next season.
Without question. I think that's an excellent league for them. I think that's a great spot for them to land. Close to home, obviously mom and dad can come over and watch them play.
And then you also have Rajon Wells, going to be a big factor for Mount Vernon as well. But on the other side, you certainly you're going to have a really good player in Dylan Moles, 6'3", a junior, averaging 16 points a contest. He's pretty much the big go-to guy for Greenfield Central. But needless to say, you have plenty of other players as well.
I got an opportunity to see Moles earlier in the season, as other people, 9-Star fans, did as well against New Palestine. He is definitely the real deal, but he has a very nice supporting cast as well.
Then you also see Braylon Mullins, who's going to be in the starting lineup tonight, the 6'4" freshman, as Coach Meredith refers to as likely one of the future pieces of this Cougars squad. Head coach for Greenfield Central is Luke Meredith in his 3rd year, and is 30-27 in his tenure here at Greenfield Central. You see him getting his team fired up. They certainly play with a chip on their shoulder, as their warm-ups certainly indicated. On the other side, you have Ben Rhodes, who is 4th-year head coach at Mount Vernon. He is 45-33 in his time here at Mount Vernon. Jim Leisure, we're set to go here for some competitive HHC contests here this evening.
Should be a fantastic game, Kurt. This is 2 county teams, 2 conference teams, and 2 sectional teams.
And we're underway, and the tip-off controlled here by Mount Vernon. This is a Mount Vernon squad averaging about 9 turnovers a contest. They take very good care of the basketball this season.
And that's a big key. If you're going to be successful in basketball, just like any other sport, you can't turn the ball over. Basketball, obviously, you're going to get 8 to 10 turnovers a night. It happens, but you want to keep it there.
Long ball 3 there from Avery Williams, but the putback right there by Ahmad Gerard. You certainly can't leave either of these twins available for some offensive rebounds.
Yeah, you definitely got to get a body on people, probably more than any other night tonight for Greenfield Central. When the shot goes up, you got to find somebody to put your rear end against. Otherwise, they're going to get a lot of boards. Mount Vernon crashes the boards well. Have 3 or 4 guys that average 5 a game.
And Ahmad Gerard is certainly one of those right there. He averages 5.3 rebounds per contest. And there's the rebound falling to Cooper Galley, who will take it in stride, almost gets his pocket picked. And it's going to be a reach-in foul here on Greenfield Central. Adam Lester getting the first foul.
Yeah, you're going to see it right here. First, you're going to see this massive dunk here. Just a very impressive display of athletic ability here. But on the reach-in foul, you're always going to get that. When you try to cross your body and knock the ball loose, they're almost always going to blow the whistle.
So Greenfield Central sticking with a loose zone defense, as you see Wells get swarmed by Greenfield Central, and they kick it back out top.
Now Wells is another guy, big board guy. Saw him last year. He had a great game.
3 ball a little short there from Galley. Loose ball corralled there by Ahmad Gerard. Another offensive board for him.
Part of the reason why he averages about 16 a night is he gets those offensive boards, those second chance opportunities and normally converts them. He had the ball under the basket, realized that he didn't have it in a good spot as he fires a three.
And he's just going to be a little strong on that one. Williams, though, gets the offensive board, and Wells takes it right down the lane but can't quite finish. And Greenfield Central is finally able to catch a break as there's a reach-in foul there on Avery Wells going for the ball.
It's going to be his first, obviously, so we'll see as Mount Vernon looks like they're going to pressure the basketball from three-quarters court here.
Mount Vernon averaging 8 steals per contest. Certainly good at forcing turnovers when they have to.
Good defensive pressure. As you can see, the defense extended all the way out to the 10-second line here.
And now another foul. You're going to get Cooper Galley with this one. So it's military and first responder appreciation night here at Greenfield Central High School. You see Greenfield Central not sporting their normal colors. In fact, they have camo and white jerseys. As you see right down the lane, there goes Rune Cooper, Carpenter Jones, and it just goes a little bit strong off the glass. Outside, Williams for three, just a little strong. And another foul on the ground. This time it's going to be against Greenfield Central, and you see Braylon Mullins, he can't believe it.
That is his second here in about 2 minutes of action, so guess they felt like he pushed off a little bit.
Inside to Wells, tries to split the defenders, gets a little chip right there, but he's able to convert.
Well, Rashawn averages about 10 a night, and, if you're going to give him the basketball 4 feet from the rim, he'll get his 10.
Down the lane inside. And it's going to be a foul coming up on Mount Vernon.
Yeah, it looks like Ahmad here reaches in a little bit. And what I think one of the things the officials are doing, you can see we got him right on the wrist. Good call. But they're setting a tone. I mean, a couple of these fouls have not been egregious necessarily. They're there. And the officials are letting these guys know, hey, this is the way we're going to call it, guys. Adjust.
Back up top here to Tyler Kirchhoff, a 6-foot junior. Feeding it inside. Nice play there by Dylan Moles. And a timeout called here by Greenfield Central. So a 30-second timeout here taken by the Cougars. Needless to say, probably a much-needed timeout here, trying to get your bearings as you try to just kind of shake through what the Marauders are giving you so far here in this first few minutes.
Yeah, without question. Again, very fast-paced, both sides up and down the floor. Coach probably just wants to calm them down a little bit, remind them of what they practiced all week. Let's take a look at Mount Vernon's huddle there. Coach Rhodes coaching them up.
Coach Rhodes credited with building up Mount Vernon, not just in basketball, but just in all sports in general, along with former head coach Mike Kirshner of the football team. Both of them came from Ben Davis High School by accident. Ben Rhodes was an assistant coach at Ben Davis the same year that Coach Kirshner came to Mount Vernon to coach football from Ben Davis.
I remember a lot of people were shocked that Coach Kirshner would step down from the big Ben Davis mixed school and come to Mount Vernon. He did a fantastic job in his very short tenure there.
Mount Vernon trying to squirt through the zone defense here of Greenfield Central. A nice pass underneath and converted there by Gerard. Gerard now with a quick 4 points here in the early going. Kirchhoff trying to work off of Gerard, has to hand it off now to Carpenter Jones, and a loose ball and a turnover back to Mount Vernon.
Well, again, just the result of that pressure defense all the way out to the 10-second line. Ball goes out of bounds, and then shortly after there was some contact, but the ball was already out of bounds, so the call was made.
So Greenfield Central sticking with the zone defense here. It seems to be working for the most part, unless Gerard is able to find his openings inside.
Well, both the Girard players like to drive. Both of them shoot the ball very well from the free throw line. They get fouled a lot, and so Greenfield is trying to take the slashing ability away from them.
Armand Girard looks underneath, and a nice alley-oop to Cooper Galley. Good vision and presence of mind right there to find Galley.
You know, both these teams shoot really well from the field and from three-point. And obviously when you're shooting layups and dunks and everything else, it's easy to shoot.
Kirchhoff is able to get the big three from the corner. First three-pointer by either team in this contest, and it keeps the Cougars close, but just at arm's length. Girard, double team. Off to Williams. He tries to get it to their bulldozer Wells. Back outside, Galley to answer, and he does. It's raining threes now from deep here, Jim Leisure.
Yeah, so it appears we went from playing right at the rim, and then all of a sudden now we're playing 22 feet away.
And here goes Moles right at the basket, and he draws a foul. So you're going to get Avery Williams picking up his second, and that's the team's fourth of the half.
Yeah, a little surprised here with both teams have guys with 2 fouls in the first quarter. They have not taken them out. Both coaches, I think, have said, listen, you got to learn to play with fouls.
And, of course, coaches are teachers as well, teaching these kids to play at the next level. Certainly something that both the Girard twins can relate to. As Moles makes both free throws. So he has 4 points in the early going here for Greenfield Central. And again, the Cougars just keeping pace and just a little bit behind. Girard. Long pass over to Galley. Puts it on the floor underneath to Girard. Ahmad Girard gets the shot to go, and they're going to count it, and the and one, it seems.
Well, we'll see if we get a replay. Here it is. Perfect. Nice job of driving and just dish it underneath, and that little reach there.
So Girard getting the and one opportunity, and he just doinks it off the back of the iron. And another foul going for the rebound, this time on Mount Vernon.
It's on Eli Bridenthal, his first. Mount Vernon has shown this full court pressure, and then once the ball's inbounded, they kind of drop off this time. Yep, they're going to go right back to it. I've always called this soft pressure. You know, it's just pressure on the basketball. It appears as if it's full court, then they back it out.
The Cougars warming up tonight with blue warm-ups that had the word chip on each of their right shoulders, and there's certainly a chip on Joey Rowland's shoulder as he gets it right to the basket.
Great athleticism, finishes with the left hand on the left side of the rim. That's the way it's supposed to be done.
He's averaging 7 a night, and there's a steal by Moles.
First turnover of the night for Mount Vernon.
Again, a Mount Vernon squad that takes very good care of the basketball. They only turn it over about 9 times a game. Moles, cross-court pass to Street. He goes right at the rack, and they're going to get a foul as well on Mount Vernon.
Well, the official indicated there was contact kind of the top of the head or the back of the head. We'll see on the replay here. We've got great cameras right underneath the bucket here. You're going to see it right here. Street does a nice job of, he knew exactly what he was going to do before he took off, and sure enough, just smacked him right in the head.
30-second timeout here called by Mount Vernon to kind of gather their bearings here as Greenfield Central's gone on in just a little bit of a run here to cut this to a 2-point deficit, which is the closest we've been since early in this quarter.
Yeah, if you look right there at the huddle there, you see the gentleman in the white shirt, black pants. That's Coach John Rocky. John Rocky was the head coach at Franklin Central for years and years, and I'm quite sure that he was a Franklin Central grad. And when his tenure was over there, he decided to come over and help Coach Rhodes. They probably knew each other from their MIC days. Coach Rhodes at Ben Davis and Coach Rocky at Franklin Central. No, Franklin Central not in the MIC. They're in Marion County, and probably knew each other from that.
Ben Davis seems to be a common trend tonight because Luke Meredith also was a varsity assistant at Ben Davis and Avon where he won sectional championships on both of those staffs. Street converts the and one opportunity, and so just like that, we're back to a 1-point deficit here.
You know, on the surface, you would think that Mount Vernon would be the favorite. They've had big wins against quality teams, but you know what? This is a county rivalry, man, and it could be a close game all the way.
In the corner, Breidenthal for three. Can't get the lucky roll, but there's a couple offensive boards by Rajon Wells, and he's able to get the second one to go.
Greenfield's got to find a way to get a body on those guys. That's a lot of offensive rebounds already today for Mount Vernon, and, you know, first quarter's not even over.
Mount Vernon averaging at least 25 rebounds a contest. Doing very well, the majority of those from Rajon Wells, who's averaging about 4. Loose ball and another turnover here for GC. Galley hits Gerard in the corner. Inside of 30 seconds now to play in the first quarter. And Mount Vernon can certainly take their time here. And a steal. Joey Rowland splits the defenders, gets fouled by Cooper Galley. And Joey Rowland coming off of the bench here for Greenfield Central. He's certainly got another gear for himself.
So already now Mount Vernon in the bonus for the rest of the half. There's about 12 seconds to play in the first quarter here. But more importantly, they got a couple guys with 2 fouls.
Joey Rowland, an excellent football player here for Greenfield Central. He's committed to DePauw to play football. Shooting 61% from the line is he. And he knocks down both. Well, Greenfield Central's shooting very well from the free throw line tonight. They are 71% on the season. They are 5 for 5 as a team in that regard tonight. And that cuts it back to 1. At the buzzer, and the long ball go from Gerard. It goes a little too hard. 1-point deficit here for the Cougars to the Marauders. Back in a minute here on 9 Star TV.
9 Star Energy customers are on a real-time pricing electric rate plan. The main difference with a real-time pricing rate plan is that when you use electricity is just as important as how much electricity you use. The cost to deliver power is changing. Real-time pricing is broken into 2 pricing periods, on-peak and off-peak. You will benefit from lower electricity pricing during most times of the day when energy demand is lower. And electricity prices will be higher from 4 to 8 p.m. when demand for electricity is generally higher. If you can make small changes, like running the dishwasher or doing laundry during lower priced times of the day, you may be able to benefit from your real-time pricing rate plan. To learn more, visit 9starconnect.com.
Second half getting underway here on 9 Star TV alongside Jim Leisure. I'm Kurt Darling. Jim, needless to say, a pretty closely contested first half here. There's probably not much better you could ask for if you're head coach Luke Meredith of GC.
No doubt about it. We talked about how, again, Mount Vernon's probably the favorite. They've played in bigger games, won bigger games. But if you're the underdog, the way you win ball games is you got to get a lot of turnovers. Right now that's kind of even. You got to be almost perfect from the line, and right now Greenfield, I think, is. And the biggest thing is fouls. Get Mount Vernon in foul trouble. Greenfield has done that a little bit. Get some of their better players out of the game and on the bench and play their second string.
Already 7 fouls here for Mount Vernon as you see the ball tipped out of play. It stays with GC here to start the second quarter. But Mount Vernon already in the 1-1 bonus now. So GC going to be shooting free throws from here on out, something that they can certainly take advantage of here since they have a pretty good deficit of fouls compared to Mount Vernon.
Avery Williams with 2 for Mount Vernon, and Cooper Galley, who just came out of the ballgame, also with 2.
Dylan Moles, who customarily wears number 3 for this GC squad, wearing number 13 tonight. He has it in the corner. Going one-on-one here with Breidenthal. No look pass into the corner. Jones, and it's tipped back outside. Rowland for 3. In and out, but there's an offensive putback by Rune Carpenter Jones, and he gets the end one.
Fouls, fouls, fouls. Even more of them are starting to add up. That's Breidenthal second as well.
So this is the second time that they've gotten an and one opportunity, and this is also the first lead that Greenfield Central will be nursing here in this first half.
So Darren Smith, the 6'2 senior, checks into the ball game, and I'm sure he's a good defender and probably a good rebounder. Only averages 2 points a game, so first free throw miss for Greenfield Central.
5 of 6 now in that aspect. Mount Vernon, number 13 in Class 4A, beating Zionsville earlier this season, coming off of a loss to Westfield, a team that Coach Ben Rhodes regards as, in his mind, the best team in the state in Westfield, as the three ball goes a little bit too strong there from Gavin Sullivan, and it's tipped out of play. It stays with Mount Vernon.
Yeah, very close to being the third foul on the freshman Braylon Mullins, who kind of got over the back a little bit but did not make contact. You can go over the back. It's only if you make contact does it become an issue. But when you got 2 fouls this early in the second quarter, I would be a little more conservative if I were he.
Nearly stolen by Tyler Kirchhoff. As you see a change in size here with Darren Smith into the lineup, the 6'2 senior for Mount Vernon. Gerard pulls up from the baseline, just in and out of the rim. Tipped out of play, it stays with GC.
Well, I'll tell you what, how about Rune Carpenter-Jones on both ends of the floor, just being everywhere, ripping down boards, and nice job.
Averaging 5 a game. Season high of 10 points in the win against Triton Central, which was back on December 8th. Kirchhoff along the baseline. Back around the horn, ball tipped up, and it is controlled by Mount Vernon. Another forced turnover here by the Marauders. Ahmad Gerard picks up his dribble between the circles, gets it inside to Sullivan. He wants to shoot the ball and thinks better of it.
Greenfield doing a really nice job of just packing it in, forcing Mount Vernon to play outside.
Well, a nice executed play inside by Darren Smith, but it was just slapped out of his hands. And they're going to say it went off of Smith, so another turnover forced by GC.
Getting a great look of it here, we'll see.
Oh, he just lost it.
He certainly did. Just lost the handle, and he was the last one to touch it. Officials doing a really good job tonight.
Moles pulls up, no dice.
Big article in this morning Star. Kyle Neddenrip followed 3 officials around for a day. I think it was titled something to the effect of "Officials are humans too," something to that effect.
In a way, we're all human. As you see Smith trying to be inhuman right there, but it just goes a little too strong. Here comes Carpenter-Jones, and he decides to let the offense set up here with Moles dribbling around a little bit.
Greenfield's been doing a really nice job of ball movement, just reversing the ball, finding the open guy, not letting the Marauder defense get set. Unfortunately, a little travel there.
And Roland just shuffled one too many feet there. He certainly looked like he got a little excited since he saw he had an opening along the baseline. Timeout on the floor here. It's taken by Mount Vernon, and they have taken their second 30 timeout, so they have full timeouts for the remainder of this one. Let's take a look here again. Just a little one too many steps there by Roland getting going.
Yeah, you know, when you catch the basketball, it's always important. Coach Knight used to call it the triple threat position, where you can dribble, you can shoot, you can pass. But the key is catching it in a way that you can do something with it quickly. And I think when he caught it, he wasn't sure what he was going to do with it.
Taking a look at the HHC standings here, the Mount Vernon Marauders looking to stay undefeated in conference play here tonight. Greenfield Central, again, I mentioned they kind of play with that chip on their shoulder. They talking to Coach Meredith, you know, they embrace the underdog role, but they're kind of tired of being in the middle of the pack when it comes to the conference every year.
Yeah, you know, again, I used to say when I coach, when enough people care, we'll win. I mean, eventually you get a group, you get a class, or maybe a senior class combined with a good junior class who, like you said, you know what, we're just tired of being second. We're tired of being good. We want to be great. And when they commit that way, you have a chance.
Neither team has scored over the last minute and a half here because defense has certainly been very, very tough. A block down low there by Mullins on Rajon Wells, and they're going to get Mullins for a foul here. Or no, it looks like they're going to get
Moles, I think.
It's going to be Moles.
Yeah, his first. It's going to come up right here. We'll see if he slaps down. And he does. And you see it right on the elbow. They're good job of the officiating crew tonight. Everything we've seen so far has been there.
One place that Rajon Wells has struggled this season is free throw shooting. He's only shooting 45%. But talking to Coach Ben Rhodes, he says that he reminds him of a player from Ben Davis that he used to coach called DeJuan Jones, who is now an offensive lineman at Ohio State University. Now, obviously, Rajon Wells is not as big as DeJuan Jones, but he says he certainly has very comparable traits.
Well, if you're going to shoot 50% or lower from the free throw line, you better make up for it someplace else, and he does with his offensive rebounds and defense. One problem with a guy that shoots like that is late in a ball game, that's obviously who the other team is going to foul, so you got to take him out of the game.
Carpenter-Jones, mismatch on John Wells right here. Speed on size.
Again, so far, Greenfield done a nice job of spreading the floor, spacing.
And inside goes Moles, but not before there was a wrist whistle, and they're going to get George Burhan, I believe. And that is indeed the call, so that'll be his first. And again, a 1-and-1 opportunity coming up here for Moles.
One more foul, and Greenfield will be in the double bonus. That's really rare in the first half. You see that sometimes in the second half when teams have to foul late. They get 2 or 3 extras, in the last 2 minutes. As
Although
Moles drains the first one there.
It's certainly rare, but I called a game between Indianapolis, Washington, and Traders Point earlier this week, and there were 7 fouls in the first quarter committed by Washington. So it certainly does happen.
Oh, it does. It just a lot of times it's that second half when a team has to foul to try to get the ball back, that kind of thing.
Dylan Moles hits both free throws. He's perfect in that regard. He has 6 points.
I think right now Mount Vernon is just a little disjointed offensively. Greenfield, by packing it in, they've taken away the drive game, the slash game.
Armand Girard has yet to score. His brother Ahmad Girard has 6 points. And there's a steal coming from GC underneath. Tipped back outside. 3 on the way from Moles, and it goes a little bit off the rim. And we'll see who it is. It goes to the Cougars.
Again, another good call. The official under the basket was asking for help. The wing official indicated that it came off of Burhan, and I believe that it did. You see him right there slap it out. My only question is, why didn't the guy standing right under see that before the guy? Good call. They got it right, and that's all that matters.
As you said earlier, officials are human.
Yep.
So a fresh possession here for the Cougars.
I was going to say if Wells extended that defense any further, they'd be on the other side of the 10-second line. Rayshawn
Street has certainly been moving all over the place tonight. Different colored shoes that he's wearing as Kirchhoff misses the front of the rim on the free throw, on the three-pointer. But here comes Girard right down the middle of the lane. Can't finish. Rebound fought for. Jump ball. And the arrow favors Greenfield Central. They're going to say it. The arrow favors Mount Vernon.
Yeah, Greenfield Central got the ball on the possession coming out of the second quarter. So the tip, and you had the tip, and then you have the second quarter. I always get that confused. It's like, no, there wasn't another held ball. Well, it's the quarter. I do it all the time.
So the arrow favoring the Marauders. Mount Vernon keeps the basketball. Wells, lightly pressured, kicks it back out to Girard.
See, Mount Vernon's been able to get the ball in the paint. The problem is that there's so many defenders in there that really you almost don't want it in there because it's just a bad place to have it. Like right there.
Spin around jumper by Rajon Wells. Well, if he can't make it from the free throw line when he's shooting free throws, he can certainly make it from the field.
Well, years ago, Wilt Chamberlain really struggled from the line. A great player, Hall of Famer. And he tried everything. Jump shots, hook shots.
Jump shot and score from Dylan Moles for 3. And Greenfield Central up by 3, keeping the Marauders at arm's length now.
And don't forget how many fouls. The fouls could come into a big play in the second half here.
Burhan going one-on-one and a traveling violation right in front of the official. And another costly turnover here for Mount Vernon down the stretch.
Yeah, I have them for 5, Kurt. Normally, I try to keep track of them. I'm always down 1 or 2. But I have them for 5, Mount and Greenfield for 4.
Moles kisses it off the glass. Back-to-back points for Dylan Moles, and he has come alive here in this second quarter.
Great job of splitting the defenders there. He kind of faked the pass a little bit and just stepped right between the two defenders and, like you said, laid it softly off the glass.
Largest lead of the game now for the Cougars. Both teams have led by as many as 5 points. Needless to say, we're in for a back-and-forth battle here if this one keeps going the way it is in the second half.
Well, Ahmad Gerard looks like he wants that shot. He's out there by the volleyball line. There it goes.
This time he lets it fly, and it's just a little short.
He looked at it and looked at it the last 2 possessions. You know, he kind of caught the ball triple threat position, and he wanted to, and he decided not to. Finally there, he decided to fire one up.
70 seconds left here. Moles again for 3. Dylan Moles, 3 straight field goals, has extended the lead for Greenfield Central.
Dylan Moles says, let me show you how to do that. You want to do that volleyball shot? I can do that.
This time he took it from the right wing. Inside of a minute to play. And Greenfield Central lets Wells right inside, and he draws the N1.
Oh, Rashawn is doing a really nice job of when he gets the basketball facing the basket immediately. And, you know, he has an option. He can either put it on the floor like he did there and then go in and get fouled, or he hit the turnaround jumper earlier. But, again, he's getting the ball and turning immediately and putting pressure on the defense.
Rajon Wells, 0 for 1 at the line tonight. This time he drains it. And now we have a whistle away from the ball. And a quick substitution from Coach Meredith.
Maybe an issue with the clock perhaps here.
Probably checking to make sure. It reads 42 seconds. And we'll see what the officials, and they put a few seconds back on, so now it reads 46.3. And that's how much time that the Cougars have to try and extend their lead going into halftime. Greenfield Central, 15-point underdogs in this game. Coming into it tonight, they were 17-point underdogs 2 years ago when they knocked off Mount Vernon in the sectional back in 2019.
Greenfield Central would love nothing more than to use all this clock, get the last shot at the buzzer. If it goes, great. If it doesn't, no big deal. Obviously, Mount Vernon's not in the mood to let them do that. They're going to pressure the basketball. They're going to force Greenfield Central. They're going to start the 5-second count.
Kicked out of bounds by Mount Vernon as another substitution from GC. You see Braylon Mullins, who's only a freshman, standing 6'4", already has a standing offer from IUPUI. Moles. And he's going to get blocked out of bounds by Armand Gerard. Foul number 2 on him, and that's the team's 10th.
So you put a young man on the line that shoots 89% from free throws. He's hit 25 already. So, again, sometimes you see a kid shooting 90% and he's like, 5 for 6 or something. But this young man's hit 25 already this year.
Coach Meredith calling him one of the most skilled players that he's ever coached. And in like manner, Moles saying that this is probably one of the most skilled teams that he's ever been a part of. And needless to say, that skill is showing off and paying dividends here in this first half. Dylan Moles hits both free throws. 6 for 6 now is he.
Now Mount Vernon, of course, will play for 1.
Gerard up top. Both the Gerard twins going back and forth. Alley-oop attempt underneath to Sullivan. It doesn't go. And now they're going to say that Owen Anderson stepped on the baseline. And so an untimely turnover right there by GC. And now Mount Vernon has a chance to at least get some sort of inbound play at the hoop.
Yeah, it was very, very close. I don't know if his heel made contact or not.
Blocked three-pointer there by Dylan Moles, and he runs right into the locker room. The Greenfield Central Cougars kind of surprising everybody here right now. They have a 7-point lead going to halftime. We'll be back in just a little bit here. Second half coming up in a little bit here on 9 Star TV.
My name is Patty Potty, and I'd like to talk to you about all those kinds of convenience products. People are flushing down the toilet, clogging up our sewer system, and causing expensive repair bills. They might flush down, but they sure don't flush out. Make sure you trash them. Don't flush them, only flush the 3 P's. Pee, poo, and paper. Toilet paper, that is. And remember, no wipes in those pipes.
This important message was brought to you by 9 Star Connect, your water and sewer provider.
Second half about to get underway here on 9-Star TV, and we're in for a good second half if the score is any indication. The number 13th ranked Mount Vernon Marauders trailing by 7 to the Greenfield Central Cougars. Alongside Jim Leisure, I'm Kurt Darling. Well, Jim, needless to say, we got a pretty good second half in store for us here this evening. What do you say to your team if you're head coach Ben Rhodes of the Mount Vernon Marauders after that first half?
Well, one of the things that I was surprised that they were not in the locker room long. I mean, obviously they got out here with like 4 minutes to go. Greenfield with 1:25 is just now coming out. Obviously, Coach Rhodes is going to go in there and say, gentlemen, we need stops. We cannot sit and trade baskets with these guys. The rest of the way. If we do, we lose. So we need to ramp up the defensive intensity a little bit, get in those passing lanes, try to deflect the ball. Let's get some stops. And then once we get those stops, we got to go down and basically score. So turnovers and points off turnovers.
And as you see right there, Dylan Moles has certainly been a thorn in the side of the Marauders here, especially over the last quarter. He had 12 of his 16 points in the second quarter, 2 3-pointers, 6 of 6 from the foul stripe. Needless to say, he's having a pretty good game.
Well, and the other thing, too, if you're Coach Rhodes, you got to find a way to get the Girard twins involved in the offense. They did not score a single point between them in the second quarter. If it wasn't for Rashawn Wells, Mount Vernon would be down 10 or 15 points. He does have 10 points on his own, but he had 6 in that second quarter. Otherwise, Mount Vernon would have been shut out. So you got to find a way, and that's the coach's job. Coach Rhodes, Coach Rocky, and his staff, they need to figure out a way to get those guys involved in the offense.
As you see, the student section of Greenfield Central, it is White Lie Night. So needless to say, they wear the white T-shirts with little fibs about who they are.
Yeah.
That's a pretty creative theme for a student section night, to say the least.
Well, the student sections both on both sides. You see Greenfield, great shot there. That's Greenfield section, but Mount Vernon has a nice student section. It's Jersey night, and so they have about 50 or 60 kids all dressed in different jerseys. You'll love to see this. This is Indiana high school basketball.
Military and First Responder Appreciation Night, so Greenfield Central certainly getting into the Jersey game tonight, wearing their white and camo Indiana National Guard jerseys as a tribute to them. And they start the second half with the basketball. Tyler Kirchhoff has certainly been stingy. You see Rowland going right to the rim, but another traveling call. That's the second time that he's been called for traveling and trying to set up a drive to the basket.
Well, the coaches have to look at the films and slow it down and show him what he's doing so that he can fix it. Otherwise, that's going to be a problem all season long.
They're certainly really close right there on that one. Cooper Galley didn't have a lot of minutes in the second quarter. He's back into it now.
He picked up a couple of fouls early, and
as did Avery Williams. So a lot of the foul trouble players are back into the lineup here for Mount Vernon.
Yeah, 3 of the starters for Mount Vernon did pick up 2 fouls in that first half, and again allowed Greenfield Central into the double bonus.
3-pointer from Rajon Wells. Only his third of the entire season.
Yeah, I don't know how he got to the game tonight, but I guarantee you Coach Rhodes is glad he got there, because if it wasn't for him, they would be down.
He has 13 points. And Moles to answer. He has not missed from deep the last 3 3-pointers that he's attempted. 19 points now for him.
Yeah, he just seems to be getting a little further out each time. Defense still packed in for Mount Vernon. A little 3-2 zone.
Wells left slightly open and just a little strong on that take. Back the other way comes Moles into the corner. 3 on the way, just off the front of the iron. No good from Braylon Mullins. Williams screaming down the court, blocked from behind, and they're going to get a foul on Greenfield.
Going to be on number 30, Rune Carpenter-Jones. He's played really well so far. We'll see the replay here, see if he gets the wrist. Very close.
First foul by either team here this half, and now Avery Williams held scoreless that entire first half, and he still remains scoreless as he misses that first one.
82% from the line, came into the ball game. Obviously that goes down a little bit with that miss.
But he's able to rattle home the next one. Avery Williams averaging 7 points a contest, well off that average so far this evening. Also a defensive back on the football team, one of many football players who moonlight as basketball players here for Mount Vernon. Kirchhoff. Over to Moles. Avery Williams sticking to him like Velcro to keep him from shooting again. Double team, and they're going to call an over and back violation on Dylan Moles, and so the pressure pays off right there for Mount Vernon.
All right, so 2 possessions, 2 turnovers. Mount Vernon's only got 1 point there. We're going to see if he steps on the line.
Right, again, and very close. Very, very close.
I mean, again, I would hate to have you would have needed a credit card to slide underneath there to make sure that he touched it. So,
of course, we don't go to the monitor in high school basketball as Girard tries to snap his scoreless drought and can't quite do it. Pull up from Moles, and it's good! Dylan Moles is 4 for 4 the last 2 quarters from behind the arc, and a timeout called by Mount Vernon. He is having a heck of a night if there ever has been one.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about the game, but I might want to guard that guy. I might want to put a hand in his face.
Just pulling up, almost broke his ankles right there pulling up for that three-pointer, and he is on fire to say the least.
You got to disrupt him. You just can't let people, shoot, uncontested, especially when they're as hot as he is.
Another look at it here over Avery Williams. Dylan Moles, one of the better three-point shooters in the conference. He's shooting 38% coming into this one from behind the arc, and it is the largest lead of the ball game for either team. And Greenfield Central has certainly shown that they've come to play here tonight against the tough Marauders squad.
Yeah, Mount Vernon has got to change the channel. They've got to do something different. You can't, honestly, they come out in the second half very similar to what they did in the first half, and that's not going to get it done. That's what led to a 7-point deficit.
Mount Vernon leads the all-time series between these two squads. 29-21 is the difference, with Mount Vernon getting those 29 wins. Last time they met was back in the sectional a year ago, a 62-37 shellacking by Mount Vernon. Underneath Wells, and he lays it in, and Greenfield is content to surrender that one.
Well, good job of getting the ball into the paint to Girard, who was able to create something. Obviously, when he gets the ball that close to the rim, defenders are going to converge, and when they do, somebody's open.
Inside of 5 minutes here in the third quarter. Double teaming Moles now. That leaves Roland open. He goes right to the rim. Blocked there at the glass by Ahmad Girard. He comes screaming the other way and has to stop short. And before he got the pass off, it was going to be a turnover, but instead it's going to be a foul. And it's going to be on Rune Carpenter-Jones of Greenfield.
His second and a half here. Nice job. And look at this block here, just elevating and without question, not even close to goaltending.
That's how you use the glass, too. Girard along the baseline. He finally is able to get on the board here after he had not been able to at all the first 2 quarters.
One of the things Greenfield Central is doing this half is they're setting a lot more ball screens at the top. Mount Vernon extends the defense, and they're setting some ball screens, creating some quasi-traps, which leads to people being open.
Rune Carpenter-Jones splits the defenders, and there's going to be a foul called here on Mount Vernon, it looks like. And that is indeed the call. It's going to be on Girard, Ahmad Girard, his second rather.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if they were going to call a foul or just say that he was the one that forced the ball out of bounds. I mean, it would have been Cougar basketball either way.
Mount Vernon has cut it back to 5. Moles trying to come around the screen and puts up the hook shot in the lane and just rings around the rim. Into the corner, Williams for 3. In and out. Wells again doing what he does, and that is get second chance points.
17 for him. Another thing Mount Vernon can do is what they did there is push the ball up the floor. Instead of getting the basketball and walking it up and playing half court, let's just push the ball up. Let's fast break. Let's see if we can't create some scoring opportunities.
Rajon Wells of Mount Vernon on a scoring streak here of late. Kirchhoff trying to answer with a 3 off the front of the rim. Galley hits Girard in stride, and he slams it home. Timeout, Greenfield Central.
It will be a full. Coach Meredith obviously feeling the momentum and just the thing changing on him here, and he wants to slow it down. stop it coaches kids.
That adds to now a 9-0 run here for Mount Vernon to cut it to a 1-point game. Rather it being an 8-0 run here. And a lot of that made by Rajon Wells, who is on a scoring streak, as I was saying, his season high 21 points. As you see at Girard, his season high 22 points. He's done that twice this season. But Rajon Wells, he's coming off of a 17-point performance against Westfield, which was a loss back here earlier this week. Needless to say, he has 17 here tonight.
Well, Rajon is just obviously saying, you know what, I can play a little basketball too. Again, I remember coming to a game, and I don't remember who they played last year, but he had a huge night, very similar to what he's had tonight.
Be sure to check us out here for the next game coming up on 9 Star TV as the Monroe Central Golden Bears take on Shenandoah. Rob Conant and my colleague Jim Leisure on the call. That game going to be on January 15th. You can also catch the re-airing on January 16th right here on 9 Star TV.
Should be a very exciting basketball game. Coach Dave McCullough's Raiders out there in Shenandoah had a great run, lost a great senior class. Let's see how Coach McCullough can reload.
Kirkhoff for three. And again, he cannot hit it, but going full court again is Mount Vernon. Williams can't convert this time. Rowland coming screaming down the floor, gets the shot to go, and draws the end one. Joey Rowland has certainly had one of the biggest chips on his shoulder all game long, and he makes it count for him right there.
Well, you know how many times have you seen it, Kurt, where a team calls timeout and then they come out and they basically just do exactly what the coach wants them to do. Mount Vernon, again, is going to try to – it looks like that's going to be their strategy this half. They're going to run. They're going to try to get out in front of Greenfield Central.
And he gets the end one, a big point there to get it back out to a 4-point lead.
But, yeah, nice answer by Greenfield Central.
Especially out of the timeout as well. Into the corner, Wells again for three, this time a little short, but there's Girard to try and get the putback, and he leaves that one short as well. Moles into the lane, breezes by Wells and gets it to fall. That's the first points from the field that he has scored. That is not a three ball in the last 5 shots that he's taken.
Fantastic job, great body control, great finish at the rim. There's a lot of kids that can do all those things, but not all at the same time. They can finish. They got great body control.
Galley in the corner, blocked out of bounds by Joey Rowland.
But he is the complete package, man. He can do it all.
Joey Rowland coming off the bench again, going to go be playing football for DePauw here next year once he graduates. Galley on the other side of the floor.
The half-court game has not been friendly to Mount Vernon tonight.
Girard pulling up for three, and he hits. So Armand Girard, the other Girard twin, is heating up here. Meanwhile, Ahmad Girard, he has not scored since he got his first 6 points in the first quarter. Pulling up. Mullins hits from the elbow.
I really like how the youngster just saw that, and he's like, you know what, there's nobody near me. I can hit a 15-footer. You don't see that a lot in today's game. Everybody plays at the rim or they drive and kick, but he's like, you know what, I'm wide open. I can hit a 15-footer, and he did.
Wells in the lane, no-look pass underneath to Girard. He can't finish. Gets his own rebound. This time makes it go and draws the end one.
Just a fantastic job there by Ahmad. He just obviously worked on that thing. He wanted it, and he got it.
Second bucket of the quarter here for him. He now has 10 points. Going to try and make it 11. Meanwhile, Kirkhoff picks up his second personal foul. The foul's not playing as much of a role here in this half as they were in the first half, as he misses it. Inside of a minute to play now. Moles along the baseline tries to draw it outside to Mullins for three. Can't quite get it to go. Williams bounce pass to Girard in the corner, and he hits back-to-back threes. Armand Girard with now 8 points in this quarter alone.
Getting untracked again, scoreless in the first half.
And we are tied at 41 apiece. Moles going to try and find an opening to answer here. He's doing a lot of dribbling. Gets it away to Roland. In the corner, Kirchhoff. 2 seconds. Drives on it. Mount Vernon. And no foul is going to be the call, and no shot either, as we are tied at 41 apiece, going to quarter number 4 here on 9 Star TV.
When moving into a new home, we ask ourselves questions like, who is the best internet provider in town? Well, have you considered locally owned 9 Star Connect? We've become the fastest, most reliable, and dedicated fiber-to-the-home internet company in central Indiana. Our internet packages have been modified, and we are changing speeds at a more competitive price. So give us a look. Visit us at 9starconnect.com. 9 Star is a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
Well, before we go any further here, we're going to be going with the third quarter for just a little bit longer as they put 0.3 seconds back on the clock. It looks like there was a foul called, and so Kirchhoff is going to go to the line to shoot 2 shots. And he misses off the back iron.
Yeah, I started to say, Kurt, that, how big could these 2 shots be if, especially it comes down to a 1-point game and you look back and you go, man, they put 0.3 on.
And Kirchhoff misses both. Big misses there, as now we go to the end of quarter number 3. And so now Jim Leisure, if we're talking about here going in here to the fourth quarter here, we'll take that here in just a little bit as we go to a quick break. Don't go anywhere here on 9 Star TV.
At 9 Star Connect, we're a different kind of utility. We're a nonprofit cooperative owned by our members, the friends and neighbors we serve. We work for you. So we're committed to delivering dependable and affordable electricity to over 17,000 homes, schools, and businesses. And we know the best internet service is all about speed and reliability. We deliver both over our high-speed fiber optic network throughout East Central Indiana. At 9 Star Connect, we are a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
Fourth quarter, about to get underway here on 9 Star TV alongside Jim Leisure. I'm Kurt Darling. Well, Jim, it's been pretty much back and forth here the last few quarters or so. In the first quarter, it was Mount Vernon. Second quarter belonged to GC. Well, now Mount Vernon really shellacks Greenfield Central to come back and tie this one up going into the final quarter.
Well, I'm sure they've done exactly what Coach Rhodes wanted them to do at halftime, and that was, again, take it 1 possession at a time, defend, get stops, go down and score points. They've tied this basketball game. In the old days when we were kids, we'd play in the driveway or whatever, and it was one of those deals where when it was tied, you say, look, first team to 10 wins. And I would bet the first team to 12 will win this thing.
Over half the scoring here for Greenfield Central has come from the hands of Dylan Moles. He has 24 points, 4 made three-pointers here this evening. Girard now gets it back up here to Williams. Girard unloads another 3, and now he is starting to heat up. He has hit 3 three-pointers in a row after being held scoreless the first 2 quarters. And now a steal from Galley. 3 on the way from Girard. This time a heat check keeps him out of there, but it's a rebound by Mount Vernon. It goes off of Girard after he threw it off of Mullins.
Yeah, very, very close again. I don't know if they say he stepped on the line because he threw it off Mullins, and then, I don't know, it may have came back off of him. We'll see the replay here.
That's it.
Yep.
Good eyes by the officials. So here's Moles with it, working on Galley. Meanwhile, Braylon Mullins has certainly been held in check tonight. He only has 2 points, averaging about 12 a game is he. Up top to Mullins. Double teamed, tries to get it inside, loose ball corralled, and it's going to be controlled by Mount Vernon. Cooper Galley gets the steal. Outside alley-oop attempt there for Gerard. Instead, it goes through his hands and into the hands of Lester.
Greenfield Central with that great spacing again. They've gotten away from catching the basketball and doing something with it immediately. You see guys catching it and just standing around.
Moles steps back for three, and he hits! Dylan Moles cannot miss from deep today. Timeout by Greenfield. Dylan Moles is something else. Let's take a look at this again. He has the presence of mind to step back and take a three ball here.
Just finds himself open, and like you said, says, you know what, this is as good a shot as probably we're going to get here. Looks like it's Jersey night even for the Mount Vernon cheerleaders.
Indeed it is. And so Greenfield Central, they're certainly playing with a lot of juice tonight. That's certainly one of their themes this season, juice, energy, and effort, according to Coach Meredith. As you see Mount Vernon on the replay here, Gerard certainly playing with a lot of heat right now on that three. But Coach Meredith urges his players to play with juice, that they need to give paying fans their money's worth, which is a direct quote from him. But play hard, and it'll make it worth it for them. But, you know, sometimes they get a little bit too literal with the juice. Sometimes the kids are at the local diner here in Greenfield or something like that, and random people will send them a glass of apple juice.
Well, you know, hearkening back to the days of, Milan and 54 and the movie Hoosiers, where all the varsity guys got free haircuts. Well, I guess in Greenfield, they get free apple juice.
Keeping with the theme.
Which, from looking at some of the haircuts on these kids, maybe they'd do better off with a free haircut. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Actually, everyone's hair tonight looks relatively normal. Been watching some college games and seeing all kinds of hairdos.
Certainly interesting how creative the kids can get.
Absolutely, man. Different colors and just the way they comb it, it's unbelievable sometimes.
Avery Williams puts it off the foot of Moles. And it stays here with Mount Vernon as you see Rayshawn Street check back into the ball game. Street turning in some good minutes earlier in the first half.
You know, Armand Duran was scoreless in the first half. He needs to ride to the ball game with Wells, you know.
Well, he's certainly kind of feeding off the heat from Wells that he had earlier, because he has 11 points all in this second half, does Armand Gerard. No look pass to Wells inside. He kicks it back out. Three on the way from Gerard, and he is starting to heat up and keep it hot. 4 threes in a row for Armand Gerard.
Wells just doing everything, getting assists, finding the open man.
That's one thing that Coach Rhodes talked about, how he is one of the best passers on this team, in spite of the fact that he plays hard down low most of the game. Street in the corner as you see some really ramped up pressure here from Mount Vernon. The Marauders leading for the first time in this game since early in the second quarter. And a double team and some tie-ups down there for Adam Lester, and instead it's going to be a little bit of a hand check on Rayshawn Wells.
Oh, they called it on Wells. Okay, I thought it was Avery Williams who got the call, but
and that is only Rayshawn Wells' first personal foul. So certainly a player like him, it's good to have him not in foul trouble. Moles going in on Galley, and Galley's going to get fouled. No continuation there, but this will reset the offense here for GC. And that is his third personal foul.
Yeah, you just see just a little bit too much of the body. You saw kind of leaning in on him and get just enough of a player displacement.
You see Mount Vernon just really ramping up the pressure here, trying to disrupt the offense as much as they can here for GC over the last few minutes.
Well, and you saw Greenfield trying to adjust that with ball screens, which is a good way to do it. I mean, if you're going to be 35 feet from the basket, guarding that close, just go up here and set a ball screen and break the guy loose.
No look pass to Roland. He gets around to Wells. Nice move inside by the senior, and he draws a foul. He'll go to the line.
It's going to be the fourth, I believe, on Ahmad.
And indeed it is. 4 fouls now for Ahmad Gerard, but he'll probably remain in the ball game here with 4 minutes and 18 seconds left. Meanwhile, Rowland misses that one, and you start to see Greenfield kind of come up a little empty at the free throw line the last 2 times. That's the 3rd missed free throw for them.
Yeah, Rowland only shoots 61% from the line, and I say only because you just got to shoot at least 70% to be on the floor late in the ball game.
Buddy hits the second one. Greenfield's certainly going to need all the points that they can get here down the stretch, as Mount Vernon has shown a lot of poise after they got punched in the mouth in the first half.
Well, and that's the sign of a good team. I mean, a lot of times you come out, maybe you're a little flat in the first half, and you make some adjustments at halftime, and you come back out.
Steal by Moles. Going the other way. Misses the bunny. And a loose ball is taken by Galley. An unusual and uncharacteristic miss right there by Dylan Moles. Gerard back the other way. Galley fakes the three-pointer. And Wells back to Gerard. He loads up another one, this one off the front of the iron.
I did like the way Wells turned quickly.
Long pass to Mullins, kicking it back out. Street for 3. No dice.
Pace getting a little hectic here, Kurt, and Mount Vernon said, you know what, let's just slow it down. We're up by 2.
And there's another spin-around jumper there for Wells. That's the second time he's done that.
When he catches the ball right there at the free throw lane or the free throw stripe and turns quickly, good things happen.
19 points for Wells tonight. Moles goes right at Eli Breidenthal and draws another foul. And hey, if he's being shut down from the field, he's going to get to the free throw line. And that's Breidenthal's 4th. 2 players in foul trouble now, both Ahmad Gerard and Eli Breidenthal. As Moles, again, is very reliable tonight at the free throw line. He's now 7 for 7.
He came into it shooting 89%, so he's probably in the low 90s now.
He now has 29 points.
What a basketball game, Kurt.
And that is a new season high for him, surpassing his previous season high of 24 points against Beech Grove in the season opener.
Of course, that game against Beech Grove is the Matt English Classic. Matt was a great player here at Greenfield Central and was later the head coach at Beech Grove.
2-point deficit here for GC. Meanwhile, Marauders looking underneath. Breidenthal lays it off the glass.
His first bucket of the night, and a very big one it is.
Breidenthal going to be playing baseball at Xavier next year. Approaching the 2-minute mark. Jones along the baseline, and over Wells goes Rune Carpenter-Jones. Timeout called by Greenfield.
Nice timeout by Coach Rhodes. Immediately as the ball comes through the net there, you call timeout before the other team has an opportunity. You're going to see the drive here, the dish, and the finish here by Jones.
Yeah, one too many players down there if you were Greenfield Central with both Street and Jones, and he was the one who came up with it and made him pay.
Yeah, that's, again, we talk about it all the time about spacing. That's clearly not what you want, is 2, same color jerseys standing right next to each other. One guy can defend them both. But sometimes it works out, and it did that time.
So Greenfield Central trying to get back to 500 here and keep this one going. They led by as many as 9 points early in the third quarter before Mount Vernon went on a quick 8-0 run to knot it back up. And Greenfield Central, in spite of the fact that they're 4-5, they are 4-1 at home this season. So the home crowd has certainly been favorable to them.
Coach Rhodes is asking the officials to clarify something. Could be the number of fouls on one of his guys. So they're over there talking to the official scorebook. And whatever it is,
they got it sorted out.
Yeah, we'll see what out of this timeout, because now Greenfield needs to stop. You got to do something defensively that's a little bit different than what you have been doing. They have been in a 3-2. It looks like they're going man-to-man here.
Inside of 2 minutes to play now.
Could be a matchup zone as well.
Avery Williams back outside to Gerard.
Got to defend. Got to start the 5-second clock.
Gerard bounces it underneath to Wells. A big lay-in for him. He now ties his season best with 21 points tonight. Moles into the lane, puts it off the glass, nothing, and Rowland puts it back up again and gets it to go. Joey Rowland is just all over the place whenever they need him to be.
Timeout on the floor here to get some of the perspiration off. They may want to, one of the teams may want to get a towel out there, but watch this replay. Man.
Joey Rowland now with 10 points. As we see Rashawn Street check back into the ball game here for GC. But now if you're Greenfield Central, you need a big stop on defense here.
And it looks like they're bringing everybody up here. We'll see whether or not this turns into hard line pressure where it's double team trap or whether it's just press the ball up the floor.
So Gerard to take it out here for the Marauders. And he gives it to his brother. Gerard kicking it back out. 3 on the way from Williams. Just off the front of the iron. There's the stop you needed if you're the Cougars. 1 minute to play. Joey Rowland. Guarded up top here by Wells. Rowland going to take it himself, and he loses the handle briefly. And what do they got here? It's going to be a timeout called by GC. Probably one of the best timeouts that I've seen called all season long by any team right there.
Yeah, again, as coaches, when you realize your players are in trouble, you get 5 timeouts a half, and if you've got a couple left, you may want to go ahead and call it. And before the turnover, we did a game, John Herrick and I the other day, or maybe it was you, I can't remember, but the coach waited until they turned it over, then called the timeout. Well, that's a little too late.
Doesn't exactly benefit you there.
No. I mean, if you see that it's that your ball handler is in trouble, he's on the floor, he's being double teamed, go ahead and call the timeout and just reset it.
Greenfield Central trying to make local first responders and veterans proud here tonight. It's First Responders and Veterans Appreciation Night here at Greenfield Central, as well as White Lie Night, as you see there by the Greenfield Central student section. But now if you're Greenfield Central, you got to probably have the possession of the season right here against you have a really big opportunity not only to at least kind of get a leg up in the conference, but really make it difficult for the Marauders down the stretch.
Yeah, these are the situations that you practice all season for. You have these plays coming out of timeouts. You have them when you have the ball on the side. You have them when you have the ball underneath. They've got something set. We'll see whether or not Mount Vernon can counter defensively.
So Street will be taking it out here to set up what could be the final possession for Greenfield, depending on what they decide to do here. Street inbounds it to Rowland. And he finds Moles. He pulls up from just inside the arc and hits. Tie ball game with 30 seconds left to play.
Everybody's on their feet here, Kurt. This gym is electric. Seats about 4,600, probably about 3,000 in here tonight.
20 seconds left to play. Tie game at 53 apiece. And we got a foul called here by Greenfield Central. They're going to get Street here with the foul, so this will kind of stop things up here, and it'll be a timeout called by the Marauders.
Yeah, interesting there. I mean, neither team is really in the...
Well, the Cougars have the fouls to give here.
So
it gives them a chance to kind of stop play here and kind of reset what they want to do on defense.
Well, and again, when the other team has the basketball, Mount Vernon has the basketball, Greenfield can't call a timeout, so you had to go out and get the foul, stop the clock, and then on the dead ball call the timeout. Actually pretty smart.
Dylan Moles with the big tie ball game, game-tying shot right there. He now has 31 points tonight. That's a new season best for him. And needless to say, in that particular situation, that's the guy that you want to take that shot.
No doubt about it. Put the hands in the young man who's got like 1,000,000 points, and he certainly does tonight. So,
again, the last time these two teams met, Mount Vernon clobbered GC 62-37 back in sectional play last year. That was the sectional championship game where they moved on to the regional back on March 5th of 2021.
For years and years, Kurt, Greenfield Central was the county seed and the big bully. They were the big school in the county, and Mount Vernon, New Powell, and Eastern were kind of rural schools. Well, those roles have changed quite a bit in the last 15 years.
So here we go, 13 seconds left. Mount Vernon has an opportunity to win it. Five seconds. Gerard outside. The other Gerard gets into the lane, puts up the shot off the glass. No! Free basketball in Greenfield. We go to overtime. How about it, Jim Leisure?
I said the first team to 12 wins. Well, they both got 12 and we're tied. So let's say the first team to 6 is going to win this overtime.
So now we go to overtime, a 5-minute extra period to try and to decide this one. Mount Vernon, again, the 13th best team in the state according to Class 4A and the Associated Press. They are also number 18 in the IBCA coaches poll. Before we go any further, let's take a quick timeout on 9 Star TV.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start?
Here, in the classroom.
On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate.
One more period to go here after 4. We go to overtime here on 9 Star TV alongside Jim Leisure. I'm Kurt Darling. You see Gerard just leaving that a little short there to try and go ahead and win the ball game right there. Instead, we get 4 extra minutes.
Yeah, hats off to Coach Meredith again for getting that intentional foul there to stop the clock, to call the timeout, because honestly, I thought Mount Vernon was a little disjointed offensively there. It looked like the same 3-2 defense, but obviously Coach Meredith must have said something about, guarding different people different ways, and it just disrupted them just enough. Mount Vernon got a great shot. That's what you want if you're Coach Rhodes. It just didn't go.
So Mount Vernon wins the tip, giving the arrow to GC here for this one for the time being. Each team gets an additional timeout here in this overtime period. Greenfield Central had exhausted all 5 of their timeouts in regulation, so they get 1 back.
Well, hopefully we'll get a little bit of action here, Kurt. You do see some teams that will just kind of be more than happy if the defense is not going to come out and start the 5-second count. They'll just sit and dribble the thing away, and you're only going to see a couple maybe 2 or 3 shots at the basket in this 4 minutes.
Stall ball at its best here now. Something that the Milan Indians used to play back in 1954, which Bobby Plum referred to as cat and mouse offense. And it certainly worked for them. And Mount Vernon has kind of taken a little bit of a page out of that one right here. And if you're Greenfield Central, what can you do to try and get the ball back?
Oh, the first thing you got to do is extend the defense out again. You got to pressure the ball a little bit, force them out as they do there.
Galley inside, off the glass. And now the buckets get a little bit more pricey here in the overtime period. Rowland is fouled by Gerard, and that is foul number 5 on Ahmad Gerard. He is done for the night. And that is the 8th foul as well, so Rowland is going to go to the line for a big 1-and-1 opportunity.
So Ahmad steps out with 10 points is what I got him for.
Can confirm. And Coach Rhodes giving him a pat on the back. Certainly a good effort from him tonight. A little bit off his normal average of 10 points. He averages 15 on the season. committed to IUPUI for next year along with his brother Armand. Rowland hits the front end and earns another one. A big shot there from the senior, who off the bench now has 11 points. Nicely done by Joey Rowland. We're back even at 55. Cooper Galley had the bucket the last time out.
Very similar to the first possession here, just a little 3-2, going to let them use some clock. Eventually they may step out. Of course, the last time they stepped out, they gave up a layup, so.
Armand Girard taking his time. Meanwhile, you get a "this is boring" chant from the Greenfield Central student section.
Of course, what they don't realize, it's because of the way Greenfield's chosen to play defense, that Mount Vernon's certainly not, you don't have to dribble in and just force your own turnover.
As Sir Isaac Newton said, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction, right? And certainly right there, though, as there's a big steal off of the turnover from Mount Vernon. And now if you're Greenfield Central, you have a chance to kind of do the same thing here.
I doubt that Mount Vernon's going to let them do that. They're going to walk the defense out and start the clock. So right there, start the count.
Rajon Wells has to do something with it. Splits the defenders, loses the handle, picks it up, and has to get it back out to Moles. 70 seconds left here in this overtime. Moles along the baseline, gets the roll! The lead goes back to the Cougars.
Now if you're Mount Vernon, you got to press it down a little bit. You got to move it up. Obviously, you're down. You can't just stand outside.
Wells gets it to Galley. No, that's actually Bridenthal, and he gets fouled down low by Moles. Only the 5th foul of the half here for Greenfield Central.
The foul's actually on Mullins here, but.
And now some big free throws here for Eli Bridenthal. Oh, and he rattles it in and out.
I had him as 4 for 4 coming in, 100%, but again, only 4 free throws for the season, so maybe not the guy you want at the line.
But he hits the second one. And it's back to a 1-point game and a timeout called by Greenfield Central. They use their only timeout they have here for this period.
Oh, I would expect some full court pressure here. You're down a point. You got to force a turnover. You cannot let Greenfield Central dribble time off the clock. You got to force the action. Even if they come down and Greenfield were to hit a 2-point bucket, you're still only down 3 as you see Moles, who's just been unbelievable. I mean,
he's done it all tonight.
Yeah.
As he now has 33 points. Again, his previous season high was 24 points.
Yeah, I don't think I got 33 points in my whole career.
Or what you referred to as gym leisure time.
Yeah, it's leisure time when the ball game's 62-14, and that's when I would get in.
Which way?
I don't care. I mean, when the game was out of hand, then I had to take my warm-ups off. Half the time, I had street clothes on underneath them. I just wanted to get out of there after the game was over. I wanted to be the first one at the Pizza Hut. First one at the Pizza Hut got to run the jukebox. So
there you go.
That's how old I am. They still had jukeboxes.
Just make sure you have your bag of quarters, right?
Yeah.
Well, right now the Greenfield Cougars got to have all the quarters in their pockets right now, and they have to try and cash them in with some good defense.
Well, I think you put the basketball in the hands of Moles or Rowland. Those are your two guys. I mean, Street perhaps is a ball handler. You want to get the ball in the hands of your free throw shooters in case they decide to foul quickly. Obviously, Mount Vernon coming out with full court pressure.
Mount Vernon going to make a move as Mullins is able to get it off to Kirchhoff. Cross the timeline over to Moles, now to Street. Inside of 40 seconds, Rowland underneath the basket. He dribbles it back out. He's going to waste a little bit of time. And now you see Greenfield kind of playing some keep away here as Rowland gets it inside 30 seconds. And a foul going to be called on Mount Vernon.
It's going to be on number 22, I believe.
And that's going to be Galley.
24, they're saying 24.
And that's number 5 on Bridenthal. And now it's 2 free throws for Greenfield Central, which is a huge thing when you think about it in the grand scheme of things.
So Coach Rhodes is going to have to go to his bench again. We talked about this early on, the foul trouble coming back to haunt you late. They were able to get out of it in the first half. They had 3 starters with 2 fouls in the first half. None of them picked up their third, which was a good thing. But again, you sit and you say, man, we just can't keep doing this, fellas.
Greenfield looking to try and snap a 3-game losing streak dating back to December 18th. Losses to Lawrenceburg, Connorsville, and Eastern Hancock. All of them very close matchups, sans the Connorsville loss, a 55-33 result. Mullins hits it and gets another and has another one coming.
75% from the line for the young man here. Now, again, if you're Mount Vernon, this is not necessarily a bad thing. Even if he hits this thing, you're only down 3. And let's face it, they got 3-point shooters all over the floor. So
Armand Girard still on the floor. He's one of them. He has 4 threes tonight. But Mullins misses. Possibly a big miss right there. 2-point lead for GC. Underneath to Wells. Spins inside. Gets it to roll. 13 seconds left to play. Clock is still running. They have to inbound it. And he's forced out of bounds, and it's going to be a foul called on Avery Williams.
I think it's a good call, Kurt. It looked like there was a lot of contact there. I mean, the young man with the ball, and this is one of the things I always sometimes question about officials. He didn't just jump out of bounds. He's not an idiot, right? He was forced out of bounds. You're going to see it right here. Contact right there. Just enough. Now, I've seen some officials say, nope, out of bounds. Well, seriously, you think the kid just jumped out of bounds?
And now Mullins with some big free throws here with 7 seconds left to play. And he hits one. Braylon Mullins has not been able to do much from the field tonight, but he has certainly been able to at least do what he can from the foul stripe. He's 2 of 3 in that regard, and a timeout called by Mount Vernon.
Well, again, not necessarily a bad situation if you're Mount Vernon. You have 7 seconds regardless of what happens on this shot. If he hits it, you're down 2. You can come down and tie it. You can come down and win it. If he misses it, of course, you can come down and win it with just even a field goal. So all is not lost for Mount Vernon right here, but these are some big shots for the young freshman.
Greenfield Central seems to have a slight history when it comes to being big underdogs when playing the Marauders. The last time that they beat them when they were this big of an underdog was back in the sectional semifinals 2 years ago, as I mentioned earlier. They were 17-point underdogs going into that game. They were 15-point underdogs, according to our good friend John Harrell, coming into this game here tonight. And you and I talked off air beforehand. We were expecting something really close. Well, this is probably about as close as you can get.
Yeah, I did not expect a 15-point ball game. It would not have surprised me to see a 5 to 7-point game. But listen to me, Kurt. This is good coaching. It's a good coaching staff that can win games that they really have no business winning, or can at least play like this. Hats off to Coach Meredith and his staff, regardless of the way this thing ends. Anybody can take a bunch of D1 kids and Mr. Basketball and win games. That's not hard. What's hard is winning games you're not supposed to win.
And this is certainly probably considered by many one of those here for GC. And now Braylon Mullins can try and make it a little bit more difficult. And he does not. 1-point lead for GC. 5 seconds left to play. Williams going right to the rack. No shot, and he's going to be fouled. And
on the floor. He indicated it's on the floor, and they're not in the bonus here. Big deal. It's a big deal.
And this is where not being in foul trouble really helps you out, as Joey Rowland picks up the foul there.
Still plenty of time, though. 2.6 seconds. You can inbound it. You can dribble it. You can drive it. Lots of things. You can pass it. Lots of things you can do in 2.6 seconds.
Williams to take it out. Inbound to Girard. Fires a 3. Can't get it to go. Foul. But the foul is going to be called. He's going to go to the line, I think, for 2 shots. We'll see what they call here.
It's either 2 or 3. Depends on where his feet were. It's definitely a shooting foul.
The officials are going to converse. And they're going to converse here with the scorer's bench. We'll take a look and see maybe. It was awfully close. It looked like he may have just been inside the arc from where we were sitting. They're going to put 1.5 seconds back on the clock.
Okay, so that was the question. It was how much time was left. There was plenty of time. He got the shot off. No doubt about that.
And it is 2 shots. 2 shots. His foot was on the line.
Young man shoots 82% from the free throw line.
Well, Girard probably is faced with some of the biggest free throws that he's going to be trying to take all season long. And he makes the first one. Tie game at 59 apiece.
Timeout, Greenfield
and
Central.
Greenfield Central has another timeout. And so they will take it. Well, Jim, they're certainly making us get our money's worth here this evening.
Well, there's no doubt about it. Again, we talked about the crowd. That this place holds about 4,600. Even when you take the Greenfield band, who, by the way, was fantastic all night tonight, even when you take them out of it and you figure, well, they didn't buy a ticket, there's probably about 2,800 people in here who did, and they're definitely got their $6 worth. If you can't stay home and watch us on 9-Star TV, pick up the newspaper and just find the local gym, no matter where you live, and go spend $6. I mean, I'm telling you, it's the best $6 you'll get. Again, you go to a Pacer game, Colts game, and I love those organizations, don't get me wrong, but professional sports is very, very expensive, and it's tough to take the family of four and spend less than $400. You can come in here with a family of four and spend less than $30, and that includes concessions. So go out and support your high school, your local high schools, and if you can't do that, again, stay home and watch us on 9-Star. But if we're not on for some reason, maybe it's a Saturday night, and you got nothing better to do, Indiana high school sports, boys and girls basketball, is fantastic. And I'm not taking anything away from swimming or wrestling or anything else. But, man, this is Indiana. It's about basketball.
Absolutely. And this is what it's all about right here. Pressure is on the shoulders of Armand Girard. He has 14 points tonight.
On the make, you can get a long baseball pass and a shot.
And he makes it. 1.5 seconds left on the game clock for GC. Street has to put it in. It's tipped. Inbound is stolen, and that will do it. Mount Vernon survives. Then onslaught from Greenfield Central. They knock off the Cougars, 60-59. What a game, Jim Leisure, what a game.
What a game is right, and again at the very end you saw some great sportsmanship. Greenfield Central Cougar was on the floor, obviously dejected. Two Mount Vernon kids went up, patted him on the back, helped him up. You know what, we'll see you in the sectional. What a great game. I hope everybody enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to them.
And with that, Mount Vernon moves now to 4-0 in conference play, and they also come off a loss to Westfield with a good win here against Greenfield Central. Meanwhile, the Cougars, well, their losing streak continues. They are now on a 4-game skid after winning 2 in a row against Speedway and Yorktown, and they're now 4-2. They're 4-2 at home, their second loss at home this season.
Just a great game, great crowd, great atmosphere. As you see the Mount Vernon student section celebrating in their jerseys, and the Greenfield Central student section kind of milling about on the court, kind of wondering what just happened.
Indeed. Well, Jim Leisure, it's certainly been a pleasure working with you again here this evening. An excellent game to have with you.
Absolutely. Always enjoy it, Kurt.
Final score once again here from Greenfield, Mount Vernon 60 and Greenfield Central 59. From all of us here at 9-Star TV alongside Jim Leisure, I'm Kurt Darling saying so long till next time. You've been watching HHC Conference Basketball here on 9-Star TV. So long, everybody.